This chubby guy was on his first business trip to India, but he ended up being watched by a creepy beggar. He had barely taken a few steps when the beggar followed behind with a rusty cart. He had no choice but to hand over some coins. Then he turned and walked away. The beggar just stared at him without moving, and then tossed the coins aside. But later, at the airport restroom, that same beggar showed up again. The guy was getting irritated, but the next second, he was yanked out by some strange force. But no one could have guessed that he somehow made it safely to the Washington airport. He walked to his hotel room with a bellboy by his side. His face looked blank as he stepped into the room he had booked. The bellboy eagerly helped with the luggage, hoping to get a tip in return. But the usually generous man stayed completely silent. After the disappointed bellboy left, the man finally turned around. His face was blank and emotionless. He sat motionless on the bed. The muscles on his face started twitching slightly. Blood began draining from his body at a visible speed. Even creepier, his eyes turned completely blood red. The next morning, the police arrived after receiving a report. They found fingerprints on the bedsheets that looked like a child's. But based on how the man died, there was no way a child could have done it. Then Anna conducted an autopsy on the man. She found out he had died 24 to 36 hours earlier, which meant he was already dead before leaving India. They immediately got in touch with the Indian consulate and learned that 3 weeks earlier, an American businessman had died in a hotel there, and the cause of death was almost exactly the same. When Anna checked the autopsy, she saw the businessman weighed 238 pounds, but his passport said he only weighed 205, so where did those extra 33 pounds come from? Anna suddenly had a terrifying theory. Maybe the killer could enter and leave the victims' bodies at will, and had the size of a child. That's why there were tiny fingerprints at the scene. Meanwhile, across town, a dazed-looking man arrived at a school, applying for a janitor job. In that school, a little boy soon caught his attention. That night, the boy named Jack was about to sleep when he suddenly saw a creepy beggar in his room.
Dad?
What is it?
There's a man in here!
But just seconds later, the beggar had vanished without a trace. His dad thought it was just a nightmare. After calming him down, he went to the living room to watch TV alone. But he didn't notice the beggar appearing behind him. Jack heard his dad scream and rushed out of his room in panic, only to find his dad's eyes bloodshot. The next morning, the police arrived. Anna learned Jack had seen a short beggar the night before. All the clues pointed to this beggar being the killer, and likely the same one who killed the man earlier. But what confused Anna was that even though Jack's dad had bloodshot eyes, he didn't bleed out like the other victims. She suddenly froze, realizing this might only be the first stage. She rushed back to the morgue and saw the belly of the body bulging. She quickly suited up to check it out, but the next second, she stumbled back in fear, even dropping her gun. A tiny hand was reaching out from the stomach. Anna shakily picked up her weapon, but when she looked again, the belly had gone flat. She stayed on high alert and followed a trail of blood to the storage room. But when she opened the door, there was nothing unusual inside. What she didn't realize was that the beggar had been hiding in plain sight the whole time. After realizing this was a supernatural case, Anna went to see a professor who studied Indian culture. Based on what she told him, the professor immediately guessed that the beggar was a fakir. Fakirs are said to have powerful mystical abilities. They can not only turn invisible, but also take on any form. At that moment, the creepy beggar returned to the school, disguised as a janitor again. Unexpectedly, a boy named Tom accidentally saw his true face. Even though Tom acted like nothing happened, the beggar had already set his sights on him. Tom's instincts told him that this strange janitor was the one who killed Jack's dad. He told Jack everything, but on his way home, he heard the sound of rusty wheels. There was nothing behind him, but he could feel danger was close. He started running as fast as he could, and got home before the beggar could catch him. He didn't have time to explain to his mom, and rushed out the back door in panic. His mom followed behind confused, only to see Tom underwater. She immediately jumped into the pool, and swam to her son as fast as she could, but saw something terrifying instead. Tom's mother ended up dead, which made the case even more serious. Just then, Tom reappeared after escaping, and told the police the killer was a terrifying beggar who had been hiding in the school dressed as a janitor. Anna was stunned by the news, and they immediately arrested the janitor. But after 4 hours of questioning, the janitor said nothing at all. Then the professor realized something. He pulled out a video camera and pointed it at the janitor in the interrogation room. Sure enough, there was nothing on the screen. Meanwhile, 2 teachers were working late at the school. The janitor, who was supposed to be in custody, suddenly appeared before them, which made them alert right away. As they were about to call the police, Jack suddenly showed up and used a walkie-talkie to contact Tom, who was hiding in the storage room. The two boys tried to trap the beggar disguised as a janitor, but he vanished into thin air. When Jack didn't hear back from Tom, he decided to go check on him in the storage room. But halfway there, he ran straight into the beggar. Jack instantly knew he was in danger, so he hid inside a classroom in panic. All the windows were locked shut. He was looking for another way out. When the doorknob began to turn from outside, suddenly Tom showed up, telling Jack to smash the window and get out. But just as he said that, the beggar burst through the classroom door. At that critical moment, the principal arrived with Anna in a hurry. But what they saw wasn't the beggar. It was Tom. Anna raised her gun carefully, aiming at the approaching Tom, because she knew it was actually the beggar in disguise. Without hesitation, she pulled the trigger. The real Tom came back just in time with backup. The police safely escorted both kids home. Everyone thought they had finally taken down the Indian beggar. But little did they know, back at an airport in India, the beggar had returned and was mingling in the crowd again, waiting for his next victim.